Hi everyone, how are you doing? I hope you all are fine. Today, our chapter will be frequently confused words. First, you have to log in using the aplusstudent.com. Click on your name, move on to language at the grade 7. And the chapter is frequently confused words. The lesson is use the correct frequently confused word, correct errors with frequently confused words. Alright, so certain words are often confused with one another. In your writing, you should pay close attention to these words and make sure you're using them correctly. All right, because some words are often confused, and whenever you have to do a writing or you have an essay or something, pay attention that you're not using the wrong word. Okay, because it might sound similar to the other word because they are all confused. Okay, for example, we have fewer and less have similar meaning, but you should use them differently. So if you're using fewer, you use it to describe things that you can count, like pencil, stuff like that. And if you're using less, you use it to describe things that you can't count, like water. We cannot count water, but we can count pencil, we can count pens. So that's when we use fewer. Now, fewer people than expected came to watch the race. If you say fewer people, that means the people that came, you can count them, right? So our town received less snow this winter due to the heat wave. So we say less snow because we cannot count the snow. We obviously just know that, okay, this was less than the usual. Okay? All right, so we have affect and effect. So affect and effect have similar spellings and they almost sound alike when you say affect or effect, but have different meanings, okay? So affect is usually a verb that means to change or influence something, and then effect is usually a noun that means outcome or result, effect of something. All right. So our team was losing, but I tried not to let that affect my performance. So it's like to change or influence. That's when we use affect. Now, the new medicine has an amazing effect on cold symptom. So you can see that they are just similar, but they are totally different. So all these kind of words are frequently confused, and you have to make sure that you make that same mistake as well. Okay. So we have extremophile organisms that can survive in environments that are extreme for other organisms. Thermophiles, for instance, are extremophiles that thrive in extreme heat. So we have to look at it. So we have look at the answer choice. We have two, two, and two. So now they all have different meaning, even though they sound the same. Two means like also or overly, and this two means the number two. Two here means in the direction or of or until. All right. So the right will be too, okay, because the environments that are too extreme for other organisms. So it's like showing also or like extremely, okay. So the audience was charmed by the performer who maintained a lively humor and wit throughout his dash act. So throughout what? His whole or whole. Will you say whole or whole? Now you see that they all sound alike, but they have different meaning. Now this one is an adjective that means complete or entire. And this one is an opening that goes through things. So a hole that goes through the ground or goes through the clothes or anything. Okay. So the right one will be whole act because we cannot say whole as in the opening of something. Okay. All right, so we have Sandra made a wire sculpture of a tree for her art project. She used steel wool to make dash leaves. Now, to make what? Or its. All right, so is it is or its? All right, so it is a possessive pronoun that means belonging. So it's like belonging to something, and it is like a contraction of it is, like this. And then this one is like possessive pronoun that shows belonging. Okay, so you have to use it because it's talking about its leaves. You cannot say it is leaves. All right. So tell me, do you have any question before we move on to the test? All right. So we'll move on to the test now. Complete the text with the correct word. At 4,400 words, the United States Constitution is shorter than the written constitution of any other major country in the world. So is it Dan or Dan? Which of them is the right one here? So we had then for the other one. And then for this one, is it two or two, the first or the second? So which of them is the right one for this? Extremophiles are organisms that can survive in environments that are dash extreme for other organisms. Thermophiles, for instance, are extremophiles that thrive in extreme heat. So is it the first or the second? Alright, so we have two, the second one here. Okay, so it'll be this one. Okay, so next up we have the three sets bones in dash body, which are all found in the ear at the malleus, the incus, and the stapes. So, is it the first or the second? Alright, so in your body, not in your body. Okay. Alright, so Jazz Fest is a popular celebration of music and culture in New Orleans. Each year, thousands of people attend the festival to experience spectacular performance as well as the local cuisine and art. So, it's or it is which one? So, what's its spectacular performance as well as the local cuisines and artwork? So we have the Dash on Chile's Pacific coast is one of the driest region on Earth. You can go for decades without receiving any rainfall. So is it desert or desert? Is it the first or the second? All right, so we have what? The second. Because the first one is dessert, as in the snack that we eat. If you're done reading my copy of the New Yorker, could you please dash it with you when you come over for dinner tonight? Take or bring? What do you think? So we have bring it with you when you come over for dinner. Okay. The last time we were dash was for our grandparents' 50th wedding anniversary celebration in 2012. So all together or all together. First or second. Okay, so we have all together. Okay. Early baton suits were made with fabric that was dash and heavy, unlike the material used for modern swimsuits. So lose or lose. First or second, do you think? Okay, so we have what? But if you click on the first, it is wrong, but the second one, loose, is the right one. So loose and heavy. So we'll move on to the next lesson under this, which is correct errors with frequently confused words. Okay. So we already know that some words are confused, and just like fewer or less, it's confused, and you have to be able to identify the right one. Okay, so let's look at some of the examples here. Kirk and his friends were dashed at the restaurant when the storm caused a major power outage. So all together, alright. So all together is used to describe everyone or everything doing something, and all together is an adverb that means completely. So there's a difference between the two, alright. So you have to be careful when you use them. While I was waiting for the doctor, I read a magazine article offering tips on how to stay healthy and dash weight. So is it lose which of them? This is the right one. How to lose weight. Okay. So we will move on to the test, and you can share your answers with me if you know them. Okay. So Antarctica is the world's largest dash. On average, it receives only 6.5 inches of precipitation every year. So desert or desert, the first or second. Okay, so we have this one, desert. Okay, not the first one, all right? So while I was waiting for the doctor, I read a magazine article offering tips on how to stay healthy and lose weight. So is it the first or the second? All right, so we have lose, the first one. lose weight. Okay. So next up, Sin and Mary are champion snowboarders. Dash starring in an upcoming commercial for National Sporting Goods Store. So they are or dear. First to second. So they are starring in an upcoming commercial, not there. Gwen loves the outdoors as much that she would rather go camping than stay in a fancy hotel. Dan or Den, first to second. Alright, so Dan stay in a fancy hotel. Jean Paul Sartre won the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1964, but he declined to dash the award for personal reasons. Accept, which of them? First to second? Okay, so we have accepts, not accepts. Okay, so accept the word. We're out of eggs, so we should go to the market dash to buy something for dinner. Besides or beside, whichever first to second. Okay. Besides, we need to buy something for dinner. You should dash cold water over pasta once it's done to stop it from overcooking. So pour first to second. Okay, so we have pour and not pour. Okay, so there's a difference between both of them. The archaeologists had to dash the delicate fragments of poetry carefully onto the display table so that they could be and catalogued. Lie or lay. So, what do you think is the right one here? So leave a delicate fragments, okay? So Muir Woods National Monument in California protects nearly 240 acres of redwood forest. Dash eliminated that most of the trees there have been alive since before the arrival of the Mayflower to America in 1620. So is it it or it is? What do you think? So it is estimated that most of the tree there have been alive. So it is, not it. It is like belonging. Okay. So when President Franklin Roosevelt gave his famous fireside chat, he would dash behind decks covered in microphones rather than beside a fireplace. So sit, set or sit. What do you think is the right one here? All right. So sits behind a desk. So the second. Okay, so that's it for our lesson on that frequently confused words. Can you tell me on the chat if you have any questions or not? Alright, so since we have no questions, you can try to complete this lesson later on if you haven't done it in your free time. And we will see you again next time. Have a good evening. Bye, everyone.